right, let's talk about batteries. It's that time. Unfortunately, I don't have enough time today to do a full review of this one battery. It's a lithium iron phosphate battery that mounts on the walls. First time on this channel. But let's do a quick teardown and just an overview of what this battery is. All right, so first things first, the design. Man, I am impressed with this. There are a lot of things that I didn't think about, you know, if we were gonna make a battery. But like the fact that it's got handles on the bottom so you can pull it out of the box, that's pretty useful. But these handles also double as a quick, easy way to mount it in the wall. Now, you know, it's a two-person job to mount this thing on the wall, and so putting one hand here and the other one over there, because they also have the side handle there, well, it makes the two people that are gonna mount this over 100-pound battery much easier. So this is a nice touch-up that they did. So this is a nice touch that they put these handles here. These are low cost solution to something that adds a lot to the you know, to the final customer experience, right? When you're gonna mount a bunch of these in the wall, these are gonna make your life easier. Now, the other cool thing about this is that this is just like their rack mounted battery, right? It's probably inside is gonna be almost about the same. The only difference is that this screen is in the top here on the face as opposed to this face, right? But I think the way the batteries are put inside, even the dimensions are about the same as the regular rack mountable ones. So all they did was just rounded the edges here and again put the mounting hardware on the back, and then the handles here to do, actually the handles, they have some handles, I think, the rack mountable. So these are probably borrowed from that design, and all they did was just added those. But that's a nice touch, like I said. As far as this other stuff, yeah, I think the configuration here, like the data ports and the dip switches, the DC breaker here, the big terminal poles here are borrowed from the rack mount batteries, right? Also, once you turn this on, we'll turn that on, then we press this button here. Yes, you see that this is very recognizable. It's pretty much the same BMS that is on the rack mounted version of these batteries. This is also a 48 volt, 100 amp hours, so 5.2 kilowatt hours of battery in here, right? And so these little things are the same. The menus are the same. If you want to see how these menus are, you can look at my other video where I went through the whole menu of this just to get familiarized with this, right? So let's take it apart and see the cells inside. This, you just remove a few screws from the side there, and then this one comes right off. Disconnect a couple cables here. You have a few screws, 4 screws right here, and then this pops right out. And there we go. That is the inside of our battery there. So 16 cells, 100 amp hours. Lithium iron phosphate, right? Something like Eve or Lithium cell, something like that. Yeah, and they're using just the regular bus bars. They are using to interconnect the cells. Now, it's funny, someone made a review of one of these batteries and they were questioning the integrity of this bus bar. But this battery is not rated at much more than 100 amps. Continuous, right? The BMS will shut off. So this battery is not a power application, right? So this is 5 kilowatts and we get 5 kilowatts out. So it's rated at 1C, and at that rate, you know, it's good for powering a large inverter and a large home. Obviously, if you want more than an hour runtime, then you're gonna have to install a few of these, right? If you need 5 kilowatt power in your house, then this is only gonna be good for about an hour. So you'll need to get, you know, if you want 5 hours, then you'll need to install 5 of these. But most homes, you know, you can run critical loads for less than that. And so in a lot of cases, this is going to be enough to run a house for backup, for emergency circuits and stuff, right? Sometimes you'll have to use 2 of them. And, you know, there's many ways to figure this out. And there's many videos on the subject and how to figure this out. But this is a 5 kilowatt hour battery, and it's big enough to run all the critical loads in a house. And This is just like I figured is put very similar to the rack mount battery that we have tore down in this channel and that we've tested, right? And so, yeah, all the structures in here are made out of steel, bent steel, and then welded into the inside of the structure. Everything here, it's nicely secure. It's got nice temperature silicon wires, 2 of them 7 gauge here, and then 2 over here 7 gauge, and then they go through this 125 amp circuit breaker, and then they go into these big battery terminals, right? So the BMS is the exact same unit that we see on their other versions of the batteries, just mounted instead of in the face here, is mounted on this side over here. So yeah, it's pretty much as expected. This is a nice battery. It sells for about $1,700, which is about equivalent to like a Tesla Powerwall. But this one has one huge advantage over the Tesla Powerwall. It's the life expectancy. This is lithium iron phosphate. This is 5, 6, 7,000 cycles in many cases. This is going to be 20 plus years, no doubt. Tesla Powerwalls are using lithium cobalt oxide chemistry on their thing, and so maybe they'll last 15 years or whatever, but it's yet to see, because usually those chemistries are not that great long lasting, right? Lithium iron phosphate has always been the king on cycle life, right? And so this has that same price as a Powerwall. Maybe it doesn't have all the bells and whistles that the Powerwall has, right, with all their software and stuff, but definitely the I think what you lack there, you make it up in lifespan. Also size, it's a little bit bigger, I think, than lithium coal oxide. Like, I'll give you an example. That box right there has 16 kilowatt hours of lithium coal oxide batteries. This is 5. So I want to say 2 of these are way bigger than that, right? More volume, but this one has 16 kilowatts, and 2 of these will make just about 10. I want to say, yeah, it's quite a bit of a size difference when it comes to that, right? But if size is not at a critical, if you're going to put this in your garage and you have wall space, that's the other cool thing. That with the other ones, you need like a rack like this, and you need that space in your garage or in your home. But if you don't have that, then usually I've always liked the wall mounted batteries, because those just go in there and they don't take a lot of room, they don't take a lot of space, and they're kind of like a permanent fixture. And this right here, it's among one of the first ones that they're not super expensive, that they're not hard to get, that you have to go through a lot of red tape to be installed. You can install this as an off-grid system, as a backup system, right, with a 48-volt inverter, and you're pretty much to go. And then the cool thing is that it does have the ability to just expand. You could just keep adding these to your wall and keep expanding your battery size, right? So anyways, I'm gonna make a video where I install this into the wall, and we'll install an inverter. We'll run a split phase from the inverter right to my transfer panel, right? And we'll power this whole building off of these batteries and off a split phase inverter, right? But this is gonna be for a different video, because this week I'm short on time, but I wanted to make this because this is on special right now. These guys are running a deal where I think it's like 20% off or something. It's like $1,300 or something. I don't know the exact numbers. We'll put the link on the bottom of the description, and then so you can get your hands on some of these. These are also stocked in a local warehouse here in California, right? It's not too far from my house. I was there and I got to see just the mountains and mountains of batteries that these guys are stocking here in the US. And so also that you don't have to wait the long shipping times that a lot of these batteries have when you order them from China, right? So Orient Power, I will put a link to their website on the bottom in the description of this video, so go check them out. Thank you for watching this video. We'll see you guys on the next one. Bye.